Door County's greatest hits. It's Rewind 97.7. We have a fantastic and extra special studio guest today, Major League Fishing Bass Pro, Brent Chapman. Welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. Happy birthday. A couple days late.
Thank you. Yes, it's getting up there in age, but, when you get up there a little bit in age, every one of those birthdays you get to celebrate, they're all exciting.
Yeah. Is there anything with being a Major League Fishing Bass Pro? Do you have like injured reserve or retirement? Like, my arm's going to throw out now that I'm getting so old.
That does not happen in our sport. We don't have a Masters or Seniors League or anything like that yet. But I'll tell you, it's becoming a young man's sport. And I've had a great career, still having a great career. But yes, I'm ready to have that seniors tour for sure.
That's hilarious. So there's a couple rookies in the mix of the 80 Bass Pros in town.
Oh, absolutely.
Do you have a little hazing ritual? What do you guys do to pester the rookies a little bit?
Well, the thing is that the young guys that are coming up now, they're so good that they earn our respect pretty quickly.
Are they showing the old dogs new tricks?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's what's interesting is I have a 16-year-old son that does all the high school stuff now. And I'm like, the things that my son knows at 16, I joke he's as good a fisherman as I am now at 48. So it's amazing. It's becoming a young man's sport. It's a physical sport, too. I mean, anybody that's ever been out here on Sturgeon Bay or Lake Michigan knows that it can get pretty choppy out there, and it gets pretty tough on the body when you're out there bouncing around in the waves and trying to keep your balance. And, for us, our practice days are half hour before sunrise to a half hour after sunset. And
that's a long day on the water.
You guys have a very lot of sunshine up here in the summertime, so it makes for very long days on the water. Our competition days are 2.5 hour periods, so those aren't as bad. But, yeah, the practice days take their toll.
So where do you plan to start? I mean, you're coming into Great Lakes waters and Door County fishing area. Have you fished these waters before?
They've had several events up here. The last ones they had up here, unfortunately, I didn't qualify for here. So I was actually up here in 2012 when we went out of Green Bay. But unfortunately, there was some politics involved, and they wouldn't let us fish into Door County. We got to fish right up here to the edge of the world-renowned Door County. And I actually fished in the river right in Green Bay last time we were here. This place is pretty special for me, though, is in 2012 is when I won my Angler of the Year title. It was I was the best angler in that. And so Green Bay has a special place in my heart, and now we're up the road here in Door County, and I've heard nothing but wonderful things about this place. It's world-renowned smallmouth fishing, so I've got the best gear out there. I'm going to put my gear to work. But there's one thing I've also learned is when we have essentially 2 days of practice, you can't see everything.
Right.
So I'm going to pick a small area, study the map, study my Garmin's, all the little crazy things, and just go put my knowledge of 25 years out there on the water and try to pick an area and make the most of it. And who knows, maybe at the end of this event, I'll be right there at the top.
We're speaking with Bass Fishing Pro, Major League Fishing Tournament Pro, Brent Chapman. You finished 6th in Alabama, 4th in Texas, and now you're going to head out on the water here in Door County. Mm-hmm. What are you hoping for?
So there's a lot on the line this week. It is only July, but I hate to admit it. It's been a weird year for all of us. I think we're all ready to get through 2020, but this is the end of our Bass Pro Tour season. We've got some other events to come up, but unfortunately our season got cut short by 3 events, and we all hate that, but it is what it is this year. So there's a lot of important things in this event. Obviously, I want to win the event, but also we have points we're working towards qualifying for Red Crest, which is our championship event. They'll take the top 40 anglers for Red Crest. We also have another event that's called Heavy Hitters.
Sure.
So they're going to take our 5 biggest fish throughout the season. So each event we need to get our big fish under our belt. So I need to catch a big one here to qualify for Heavy Hitters. They'll take the top 40 in that. I think I'm in the top 14 for that. And then we also have the Cup events that a lot of the fans have seen on TV. Is we're trying to qualify for some Cup events here as well. So a good high finish here will help me qualify me for another Cup event as well. So very, very important week on the line here, and we're going to lay it all out on the line and hopefully come out on top.
That's fantastic. So you're going to study some of the maps, check the weather. There's a lot of little islands, a lot of shallow areas,
yep.
but the water's been pretty warm. Now we just had a storm roll through.
Yeah.
Do you have a certain approach that you like to use for bass, or
Yeah,
can you share your secrets?
I mean, obviously doing it this long, I mean, I know my Triton's got, I think, 23 or 24 Cast King rods done up in it. So
oh my God.
My goal in practice is to go eliminate some of that and try to narrow it down a little bit. But we did some driving around just looking from the road. And I don't have to tell any of you guys, the water's super, super high here right now.
Water's super high this year.
So we're under what I would consider flood conditions. And it's going to change probably how this place fishes. I would suspect the fish are going to be a lot shallower than what most of the locals would say they typically are this time of year. And that's where in practice, I mean, we just have a variety of baits done up. And something that's unique about our event, too, is most of the tournaments you have up here are 5 fish, where the guys will throw 5 fish in their live well. They try to bring in the 5 biggest, so they'll throw them smaller ones out throughout the day.
Right.
Our event, every fish over 2 pounds, we have a 2-pound minimum, so every fish over 2 pounds, every bass over 2 pounds counts for our total weight.
So is that just different this year because of everything that's going on, or is that how the circuit runs?
That's Major League Fishing's format now.
Gotcha.
We used to all fish a 5-fish limit and bring in your 5 best, and that's fun. But this adds a whole nother level to the game because you have to be good all day long. And just because you go out and catch 5 5-pounders, you're not going to necessarily be the winner here. The guy that can consistently go out and catch fish, and I'd be willing to bet this week we're going to see records broken here. I think Jacob Wheeler holds the record right now with in a one-day event, he caught just over 100 pounds. But that was last year where we had a 1-pound minimum.
Sure.
So there was a lot of 1.5 to 1.75 pounds. We raised the bar this year where it's a 2-pound minimum that we have to fish for to make it count. And I know that with the great things I've heard about Door County, a 2-pounder here is there's a lot of them to be had out there. And I do want to bet
that's not too that's not too off par for that. Yeah, it's pretty common.
So I think we're going to see some records broke this week and some tremendous catches. So I'm just looking forward to being one of those guys at the top.
Fantastic. You're going to be out fishing on Friday and on Sunday. What's a good day fishing for Brent?
For here, a good day fishing for me here is here's what's unique too is I'm in Group A, so we don't know how to set. We don't know where the bar even sets at this event. Normally, if we were coming up here for a 5-fish limit, I'd know if I would go out and catch 5 for 20 pounds, I'd be having a good day. And this one, we don't know. We've never been here, especially under this format. A good day for me here could be 30 or 40 pounds, but it might be 80 or 90 or 100 pounds. So until we get out there and practice and see, I know I'd be very happy with 100 pounds. Let's put it that way. But that's
Set
one thing.
the bar high.
Exactly. I know one thing about this is I've got to go out there and lay it all on the line that first day of competition. And then after that, then there will be somewhat of a bar set. And then you can kind of know if you need to adjust or keep doing what you're doing to be right in the game.
Fantastic. So you have 15 different poles on the boat. And you give 3 casts for each of them, and see how. I mean,
here's what's
what's the
interesting.
logistics in your mindset?
So people, a lot of people that fishermen understand it, but if you're not a very avid fisherman, they're like, why do you need to have so many fishing poles? And I always use the analogy: fishing poles are just like golf clubs. So if a golfer, I think golfers have 12 clubs that they're limited to, whatever it is, but each one of those golf clubs has a special purpose, whether it's a driver for a really long hit or a putter for a short putt. Each one is a special tool, and it's the same thing with fishing rods. And if I'm fishing one of the bays here in this area, I might want to go under these conditions and go flip a bait around somebody's dock or fish the flooded trees for a largemouth, and so I'm using a heavy setup for that, heavy equipment. But then I might want to go out into the middle of the bay in 20 foot of water and use my Garmin electronics and do what we call video game fishing. Well, that's going to require a completely different tool, a drop shot rig and a spinning rod. So you've got to have all the different tools for each application.
Absolutely, and there's a lot of different applications here around the islands and some of the reefs that we have.
A lot of different opportunities, so I got to be prepared for all of them to get out there on the water and just kind of see how the week's going to play out.
So the question now that you're traveling and doing a lot of these fishing tournaments around the States, how has COVID affected how you approach coming into different communities? We have to ask it, right?
Absolutely, because that's what everybody asks. And I got to say, Major League Fishing's done a great job. The mother company that owns them, they're very strict on everything we do at these events. They're very strict on our whole routine. They're very good about us wearing face masks and sanitizing everything. I mean, typically when we're on the water, we don't want to be around anybody anyway. So it's the perfect way to social distance. We do have a boat official that's with us and a cameraman. They're required to wear masks all the time.
Okay, so there's 3 people on your boat.
If you're doing well, you'll have a cameraman with you. But we all have a boat official with us during competition. But other than that...
Because there's no big weigh-in.
Exactly,
There's no stage, no community event.
But I think the whole COVID thing is, we as Americans, we're all just trying to learn how to navigate this now and what's the right way to go eat dinner now and all that. But we're very fortunate. We camp. We have a fifth wheel we take on the road with us. So we're, my wife and my daughter that are here with me, I mean, we just kind of stay away. Other than having to go to a store like everybody has to do, even when we're at home, we're wearing our mask and doing what the locals call. And I can tell you, I wash my hands and use hand sanitizer more than I ever had. And
all of us, isn't it true?
But yeah, I mean, that's just a new thing, the new norm for anything. But I will say, as far as an organization goes and as fishermen as a whole, you're not going to see a big crowd of us at the local nightclub or anything like that. We're all worried about getting out on the water and getting away from people.
Right, and you're up before the sun, so
exactly.
You got to go to bed early anyway.
Yep.
One last question for you, Brent. We were talking with Brent Chapman. He's a Major League Bass Pro with Major League Fishing. I see some commentary often about the pressure of going fishing. Isn't it supposed to be fun?
It is, without a doubt. I love to fish, and I love when I go fun fishing, whether it be saltwater fishing or perch or crappie or bluegill. But this is competition, so it's a whole different deal. And when we have what's called score tracker, so we get to see the scoreboard all day long, and we have the boat official reminding us whether we're doing good or we're doing bad. So it adds a lot of pressure. And when this is how you make your livelihood and how you feed your family, it puts a lot of pressure on us.
So you get to judge your self-worth as the day goes on.
Absolutely. And not only that, so do the fans. I mean, most people go to work and they might have a bad day and the world doesn't know about it. When Brent Chapman goes to work, if I have a bad day, the world knows about it. If I've had a good day, the world knows about it. So it puts a lot of pressure on us. And like I said, it's how we make our living. So, when you're competing against 79 of the best anglers in the world, it's definitely a lot of pressure, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
It's a fantastic field to be in. And the purse for the first place position for this tour is up around 60,000,
yes,
65,000.
Yep.
So, yeah, I would see there's a little bit of pressure. To do well.
There's definitely some good paydays there. And like I said, not only are we wanting to win this event, we're qualifying for other events that have big paydays in them as well. So, with us 80 anglers, there's going to be a lot of pressure on the water, but it's going to be an exciting week, and I know there's going to be a lot of big fish caught.
So what does Brent do for fun then?
I believe it or not, I love to fish. I mean, I love to saltwater fish. I love
fish in the morning, fish in the afternoon.
Yeah, and I love to hunt. So, those are my two things. I love being in the outdoors, and in this day and age, it's good to be away from people. So my hobbies fit right in with just social distancing.
Couldn't be any better. And you're calling Kansas home?
Yep. Yeah, we live in a suburb of Kansas City called Lenexa, Kansas. And it seems like no matter where we go in the country to be a professional bass fisherman, we have to do a lot of driving no matter where we go. But it's like they said in The Wizard of Oz, there's no place like home. And we love Kansas. And we love traveling the country and get to see all the great places. Fantastic. Where's your favorite place to fish? Oh, gosh, there's so many of them. But when it's... But by far, my most favorite place to fish, bass fish anyway, is Clear Lake in Northern California. It's a phenomenal fishery, but believe it or not, one of my top favorite places is the Mississippi River over here in La Crosse. And I'm hoping after this week is said and done, I've heard nothing but great things about the Sturgeon Bay area. So I'm hoping
well, we're going to hope to change your mind, right? Maybe
exactly.
At least get you in the top 5 to come back and put this on your list. Thanks for taking the time. We're going to get you out on the water and have a good fish. You're out on the water for competition Friday and Sunday this week. If you want to see a little bit more about what Brent Chapman is up to and on the water, he'll be on the Discovery Channel this Saturday. 8 to 10 in the morning. Good
Exactly.
luck to you.
Thank you very much. And people can also tune on to MajorLeagueFishing.com or get the app, and they can watch this whole week unfold, and they can watch the event live themselves
Live
as well.
streaming.
Yep, live streaming. So be sure to tune in.
We'll have a link to that at rewind977.com. Again, thanks for stopping in with us. Brent Chapman, your Major League Fishing Bass Pro, currently in 14th place. Thank you.
Thank you.